Yoki was the strongest demon in the Demon Kingdom, and his fate was to end the hero party and make sure the Demon King would win. But the problem was that he had a crush on one of the hero party members. The hero party finally reached outside the demon castle, and they had finished all the side quests, so they thought they were strong enough to win now. But as soon as they entered the castle, they met a low-level demon general, Yoki, and Yoki beat them badly. No matter how many overpowered moves they used, Yoki showed even more power, and in the end, all the heroes fainted. But instead of finishing them, Yoki started healing their wounds because he did not want them to die because of him. At the same time, he looked at the hero party's support mage and thought she was very cute. He kept looking at her for 10 minutes, but then his subordinates came outside and thought it was strange that he was standing by the unconscious girl for so long. They asked him if he would finish the heroes so they could move on with their day, but Yoki said he did not want to kill anyone. Then he told his subordinates to drop the heroes at a nearby village before they woke up. Then everyone started dragging the bodies away, and Yoki felt bad that he lost his chance to talk to her. 1 month later, Yoki was giving a report to the Demon King, and it turned out that in the last month, the heroes had tried to break in 13 more times. Every time, Yoki knocked them out and left them in a safe place. The Demon King praised him for dealing with the intruders so easily, but he asked why Yoki did not kill them. Yoki made an excuse that the heroes were so weak that there was no need to kill them, but in reality, he did not like killing people. The Demon King told him that if he did not want to kill them, then he should let his subordinates do it. But Yoki knew his subordinates could not beat the heroes, and if they lost, he did not want that cute girl to die. So he told the Demon King that next time, he would handle the heroes himself. The Demon King was happy to hear this and told Yoki to leave. But when Yoki was going back to his room, he started thinking about what he should do now. If he tried to let the heroes go again next time, there would be a big problem. But if he let them fight the other demons, the castle would be destroyed. The heroes seemed weak to him, but that was only because Yoki was too strong. If they ever got past Yoki, they would beat the Demon Lord easily. Yoki did not really care if the Demon Lord lost or won, but he did not want the Priestess to get hurt, so he made a plan. The next time the heroes tried to break into the Demon Castle, Yoki beat them badly again, but this time he did not knock everyone out. He let them stand up again and gave them a choice. He told them that by now, it should be clear they could not get past him, but today he was ready to make an exception. He would let them go forward, but the condition was that they had to leave the Priestess with him. Jaeger refused right away because he would not leave a teammate behind. But the mage came to him and said maybe they should take this deal because this could be their only chance to beat the Demon Lord. She also said that in the last month, Yoki had many chances to kill them, but every time he left them in a safe place, so Cecilia would be fine. Still, Yuga did not think it was right to leave his teammate in the hands of the enemy. But Cecilia told him to go on without her because she would be fine alone. Because Cecilia insisted, everyone agreed to Yoki's condition and moved forward, and only Cecilia and Yoki were left in the room. After everyone else left, Cecilia stood in front of Yoki and asked what he was going to do with her. But she was surprised when Yoki told her he had fallen in love with her at first sight and asked her to be his girlfriend. Cecilia never thought a demon general would propose to her, and she did not know how to react, so she politely refused him. Yoki's heart broke, and he sat down on the floor, thinking nothing mattered anymore, and waited to die. Cecilia felt a little bad for him, so she asked if he was okay, but then she thought maybe this was some trick to make her careless. She raised her staff toward Yoki, but the strange thing was that Yoki did not react and just kept sitting there. Cecilia asked him why he was not fighting back. Yoki said there was no point. The only thing that mattered to him was to show his feelings to her, and since she had rejected him, now he was ready to die, knowing he had tried his best. Cecilia still thought he was trying to trick her, but Yoki told her he was really tired of this kind of life. As a demon general, he had to watch this room all the time, and he only got permission to go outside when he had to attack human villages, and he did not want to do that. Now he was a demon, but that was only because he was reborn in this world. Otherwise, inside, he was still a human at heart. Cecilia then asked why he served the Demon Lord, because she was sure with his power he could finish him if he wanted. Yoki said he had thought about it, but then he realized if he killed the Demon Lord, he would automatically become the new Demon Lord, and that would be much worse for him. That was why he decided to live as a low-level guard so he could avoid as much damage as possible. His life was completely sad and unbearable, but when he saw Cecilia's face, everything changed. He'd only known her for 1 month, and yes, most of that time, he kept knocking her out, but after becoming a demon, that month was the best month of his life. Now that it was all over, he did not care what happened next. Cecilia told him not to talk like that, because if he really was a human inside like he said, then it was not too late for him to live a good and full life. A few days later, the hero party beat the demon lord successfully and then returned to the capital, where the king thanked them. The king announced that the next 3 days would be for celebrating the hero party's success. At the same time, Yoki had reached outside the city and was getting ready to start his new life as a human. Cecilia had told him how to get here, so now he just had to blend in with the humans and then he could spend time with her. But before that, he had to remove his horn, and it would definitely hurt. When the hero parade was happening, Yoki went to the Adventurers Guild and asked to register. The guy at the counter was annoyed at Yoki, but not because he disliked him, but because he was lazy and wanted to spend the day without working. Still, since Yoki wanted to register, he took out the registration form and gave it to him to fill out. Yoki filled out the form, so Clement processed it and made a guild card for him. He explained that Yoki would have to start from F rank, but he could go up to S rank by completing quests and building his reputation. When Yoki confirmed he understood the rules, Clement was about to give him his guild card. But before giving it, he told Yoki that getting this card made again was a big hassle, so Yoki should especially not lose it in the next 3 days, because until the Hero Festival ended, only Clement would be on duty, and he did not want to deal with all the admin work. Yoki promised he would be careful. Then he took the card outside and completed some missions, and by the end of the day, he had earned a good amount of money. He had not met Cecilia yet, but his plan was to work as an adventurer for a while, become successful enough to be worthy of Cecilia, and then when he proposed to her again, she would accept his love. In the next few days, Yoki came to the guild every day and took as many quests as he could. Now he was getting some attention because people were surprised at how fast he was ranking up. Today he brought 5 more quests, then went straight to Clement's desk and asked him to process them. But Clement got angry because he did not understand why Yoki always brought all his work to him when there was another receptionist there too. Yoki told Clement that he had gotten used to him, especially because Clement processed the quest forms he brought very fast. Because of this, Clement started thinking about who Yoki really was, because no normal new guy could take his rank from F to D in just 1 week. Yoki got a little nervous because he did not think working so hard could get him into trouble. But Clement had no plan to investigate him, because that would be too much work, and ranking up fast was not a crime, so Yoki had no reason to get into any trouble for it. Hearing this made Yoki feel better, but Clement was still processing the quests when Cecilia came forward and told Yoki to cancel his quest for today. Yoki was happy to see her again, but Cecilia looked like she had something serious to say. She told Yoki to come to her house so they could talk. Yoki agreed right away, and when they got there, Cecilia took him inside and made tea for him. She apologized for not meeting him before, but Yoki said she did not need to apologize because he also had not tried much to meet her. Then he asked her how she knew he would be at the guild today. She told him that almost everyone had been talking about Yoki for the last few days. It was almost unheard of for a new adventurer to go up the ranks so fast, so it was natural for people to talk about him. When Cecilia heard these rumors, she immediately understood it was Yoki, and that was why she came to talk to him. She told Yoki to stop being an adventurer. Yoki was surprised to hear this because it sounded meaningless to him, but he was sure there must be a reason behind it, so he asked Cecilia why she was saying that. Cecilia told him that the demon lord had lost, but that did not mean all the dangers in the world were gone. She was afraid that the different nations that had been working together until now would start fighting each other to show who was better. There were already signs of this because many nations had tried to send their princesses to the hero to use him for their own benefit by making a political marriage when war started. All the nations were looking for strong allies they could use. And the way Yoki was doing so well in the guild, it was only a matter of time before the nations noticed him too and tried to recruit him for war. Or they might call him an enemy and his new life as a human would be ruined. That was why Cecilia wanted him to stop being an adventurer. Yoki understood why she was worried, but he had bills to pay and adventuring was the only way he could make money. Cecilia understood this, so she said she was ready to hire him personally. But she did not have enough money to pay someone as strong as Yoki his real value. To make up for this, she said she was ready to do anything for him because she could not take the risk of any nation using him as a pawn in war. Yoki told her to stop bowing down because no nation could ever convince him to join a war, especially by using something like engagement, because the only person he was ready to marry was Cecilia. Hearing this made Cecilia feel better that Yoki was not going to be tricked, and if he was so sure he would not fall for any trick, then he could continue adventuring if he wanted, but he should still keep a low profile. At that moment, there was a knock at the door, and it turned out Cecilia's mother had come because she wanted to meet the friend her daughter brought home. She asked Yoki if Cecilia had told him about her love life. As soon as she said this, Cecilia felt embarrassed, but her mother kept talking. Cecilia had gotten a lot of proposals recently, and she had refused all of them. Then Cecilia's mother asked Yoki if he wanted to marry Cecilia. Yoki really wanted to marry Cecilia, but he said he could not do it yet because he felt he was not good enough right now. He said when he made his life stable, he would propose to her again, and then Cecilia would decide if she wanted to marry him or not. Cecilia's mother liked Yoki's answer because if he had said yes right away, she still would not let him marry Cecilia. But his answer showed he was serious, so she told him he could come to their house anytime. Then, on one try, that demon gave them an offer. He said he would let them go straight to the demon lord's throne room without stopping them, but the condition was they had to leave Cecilia behind. And Mana was the one who convinced everyone to leave Cecilia so Yiga would not look like a failure. A little later, Yoki was seen on a hero quest. The job that usually took a whole week, he finished in just one day. But as soon as he started going home, he was suddenly attacked. 3 unknown attackers attacked him together. Yoki tried to defend himself, but then he realized these people looked very familiar to him. They were his old subordinates from when he worked at the demon castle, and he did not want to fight them. Then he called time out and showed his real identity. They were all happy to see Yoki was still alive, but Duke was also angry that when the hero party attacked, Yoki had left them, because he was not there to take care of them like always. Then the heroes reached the demon lord's throne room and beat him. It looked like Yoki had let the heroes go forward without fighting on purpose. On top of that, for some reason, he now looked like a human. Yoki told them all to calm down because he had a very good reason for what he did. Then, all 3 waited for what he would say because they thought it would be something important. But when Yoki told them he did all this just because he had a crush on the hero party's priestess, they could not understand him. Yoki told them he was going to live like a human now, so they did not need to think of him as their captain anymore, and they could do whatever they wanted. But they all said they did not want that. They liked being with Yoki more, and they also wanted to meet the woman who stole his heart. Yoki said that was not possible because if someone saw them, there would be a big problem in the city. They all said that was not a problem because they would also hide their demon signs the same way Yoki did. And because they all insisted, Yoki agreed they could come with him. But he warned them that blending in with humans was not as easy as they thought. Later that day, Yoki took his subordinates in disguise to meet Cecilia, but this job turned out to be much harder than they expected, especially for Happiness, because Yoki had to pull out her feathers one by one. Then they all sat together and drank tea, and Cecilia said she was happy to meet them. She knew they were demons, but they did not seem like demons at all. Duke explained that they had tried their best to look as human as possible. And in his case, because he was a Dullahan, Yoki had fused his head into his armor so it would not fall off. Duke was getting along well with Cecilia, but Yoki started to feel a little jealous because Duke never talked this much around him. But now, as soon as he was in front of a pretty girl, he kept talking. Duke said the reason he did not talk much before was because he hated Yoki. In the demon castle, Yoki was known as a total shut-in. Even when his superior yelled at him to go out and kill some humans, like a proper demon general should, Yoki would threaten him that if he said more, he would kill him. And finally the superior gave up and left him alone. But Duke could not stand such a cold attitude from a demon general, so one day he broke into Yoki's room to teach him a lesson. He thought fixing a shut-in loser would be easy, but he was wrong and Yoki beat him up badly. After that, Duke joined Yoki's subordinates. At first, he held a grudge for a long time about that beating, but then he got over it and accepted Yoki as his leader. He thought the same thing happened with Happiness and Shake, but when they started talking about those two, Duke said he did not know where they had run off to. If anyone besides Cecilia found out their real identity, it would be very bad, so they went inside to look for them. Then by chance, they found Cecilia's mother in the garden, and Sheik was sleeping in her lap. Aqua saw them coming and asked if they happened to know who this boy was, so they told her that Sheik was one of Yoki's friends. Yoki apologized in case Sheik caused any trouble, but Aqua said there was no need to apologize because she liked spending time with kids. She found Sheik running in the garden, so instead of thinking about how he got inside, she joined him, and they played tag together until Sheik got tired and fell asleep. Because Sheik was found, Yoki asked Aqua if she had seen a girl with Sheik before. She confirmed it, but said a handmaid took her away a little while ago, so she was probably still inside. Hearing this made it seem like there could be a problem, so Yoki and everyone else ran inside to look for her. But to their surprise, they saw Happiness was being given real maid etiquette training. As soon as Sophia saw this group, she said she was just finishing the new maid's training. But Cecilia told her that Happiness was not a maid, she was Yoki's friend. Sophia asked Happiness if this was true, and she said yes. Then Sophia apologized for the misunderstanding and said she could leave if she wanted. Yoki told Happiness to change out of the maid outfit, but to Yoki's surprise, she said she did not want to change. She found being a maid more fun than she thought, so she wanted to start working here. Sophia had no problem with it, so Happiness now became an official maid. At the end of the day, everyone got ready to leave and wished Happiness good luck on her first maid duty. But before Yoki left, Aqua took him aside and said Cecilia had not had a chance to rest for many weeks, so she would force her to take a day off. So if Yoki wanted to take her on a date, this was the best time. This was a big chance for Yoki, and he did not want to waste it. When it was time for the date, Cecilia came in her carriage, and Yoki was surprised to see how good she looked in her dress. He said he would do his best to make sure she enjoyed her day off. Cecilia found it funny that he was taking it so seriously, but she was ready to see what he had planned. While walking in the city, Cecilia saw that the local bakery had a new cake, so she said they should stop there after the date. Meanwhile, they kept walking in the city, and Yoki kept looking at Cecilia again and again because he thought she looked very cute. So far, everything was going well, and Cecilia really looked happy. Then they passed an accessory store, and both were about to go inside, but at the same time, the hero parties Yiga and Mana were also passing by. As soon as Yiga recognized Cecilia, he called out to her right away and totally ignored Yoki. He said it was a crazy coincidence that everyone took a day off on the same day, and since everyone was here, he suggested they all spend the rest of the day together. Cecilia tried to politely refuse and said she was already spending time with Yoki. And as soon as Yoki was mentioned, Yuka felt like he had seen Yoki somewhere before. Yoki told him maybe it was just his imagination. Yuka dropped the subject for now. Then he said everyone should go inside together so no one would be left out. And without giving Cecilia much time to object, he took her inside with him. Mana got angry at all this because the one day she convinced Iga to go on a date with her, all this happened. She saw that Yoki was also on a date with Cecilia, so she wished him good luck, because if he managed to get Cecilia for himself, then Yuga would have no choice but to focus on Mana. Yoki went inside and got back to Cecilia. And since they were there, he offered to buy a gift for Cecilia. Cecilia said he did not need to do that, but Yoki said it was his way of saying thank you for all the help she gave him. Then Cecilia agreed. Yika saw all this and got very jealous right away. Then he came between them and said he wanted to buy gifts for everyone, clearly trying to beat Yoki. Yoki picked a necklace that he thought would look very good on Cecilia, while Yiga picked the pendant that looked like the most expensive thing in the store because he could not think of anything else to get. He told Cecilia to wear it, but during this, he accidentally removed his disguise. Now that his hat and glasses were gone, everyone in the store recognized him and the other hero party members right away. Then fans surrounded them and forced them to run through the streets, and in all this chaos, Yoki got separated from Cecilia. While looking for Cecilia, Yoki ran into the last hero party member, Sir Raven, who was surrounded by a group of girls and looked very uncomfortable. Yoki decided to help him, so he made the crowd focus on Yiga and sent them that way, then grabbed Raven and ran into an alley. When they escaped the crowd, Yoki thought Raven would at least thank him, but he stayed completely silent. So Yoki thought maybe Raven was not much of a talker, but when Yoki started to leave, he heard Raven tell him to stop, and then he immediately understood why Raven did not talk much. The reason was that his voice sounded like a teenage girl. He usually avoided talking in front of crowds because he was afraid people would laugh at him, but Yoki had no plan to make fun of him, because everyone had something inside that made them feel insecure. Raven felt better that he found someone as understanding as Yoki. But at that moment, Yoki remembered he had to find Cecilia, so he ran off to look for her. The rest of the day passed without any more problems. But the next morning, Yoki found out that because of all the stress from yesterday, Cecilia got a fever. She was already close to her limit, and handling so many fans at once was too much for her. Yoki thought all this happened because of his mistake. Aqua told Yoki he did not need to feel guilty because Cecilia just had a light cold. And she was not angry at him for how things happened. But she was definitely angry at Yiga, so the next time she saw him, she would have a long talk with him about boundaries. Yiga was the one who put Cecilia in this state, and as soon as he found out, he tried to come over right away so he could take care of Cecilia, but the maid sent him back at the gate so he would not cause more trouble. Aqua said it would be good for Cecilia to meet a friend while recovering, so she told Yoki to go visit Cecilia. Sophia took Yoki to Cecilia's room and knocked on the door to tell her Yoki was here. Cecilia got nervous and told Yoki to wait outside because she was cleaning inside, but Sophia assured her there was no need to worry because she had already put away all of Cecilia's toys before Yoki came. But even after hearing this, she got just as embarrassed. Anyway, now Yoki could come in. Then Yoki came in and sat by her bed. He apologized for how everything happened and said he would make up for it somehow, but Cecilia said she did not blame him for it. But if he really felt guilty, she said when she got better, he could make it up to her by going on another date with her. Yoki was surprised for a moment because Cecilia just invited him on a date herself, and that was the best thing for him all day. Then he told her he would make sure their next date would be even better than she expected. Unfortunately, Yoki got a little too excited, and shouting around Cecilia could make her condition worse, so Sophia came in and politely sent him out. Yoki started going home, but suddenly he saw Raven coming nervously towards Cecilia's house, so Yoki got curious about what he was doing here. He went and said hi to him. Raven looked like he was thinking a lot, so Yoki asked if something was bothering him. Raven admitted that he was gathering the courage to tell the girl he liked about his feelings. Just like Yoki, that girl did not laugh at him when she heard his voice. Since then, Raven had a crush on her, but he was not sure if she liked him back. Yoki did not understand why Raven was so worried, because he was tall, handsome, and famous too. His only problem was his voice, and the girl he liked already said she had no problem with it, so he had a pretty good chance that she would accept his feelings. Raven thought Yoki was right, so he decided to confess, and Yoki felt proud of him. But then Yoki realized Raven was going straight to Cecilia's house, so maybe he just made his own competition harder. He told himself Cecilia would never accept Raven's sudden confession. But then he remembered they were both in the hero party together, so maybe they had some romantic moments during their travels. He got nervous again, but then he saw Raven coming back from the mansion and looking totally crushed. He thought at most she would just say no, but he was wrong, and now he just wanted to go home and think about his life in the shower. Seeing Raven like this made Yoki curious, so he went back to the house and asked Sophia what happened when Raven came to tell Cecilia about his feelings. Sophia said Raven really did come, but as far as she could tell, he did not talk to Cecilia, he talked to Happiness. Hearing this surprised Yoki because he had no idea Raven had a crush on Happiness. Yoki decided to talk to Happiness. When he found her, he asked if she talked to a red-haired boy a little while ago. Happiness confirmed it. Then Yoki told her Raven was actually a friend of his, and hearing this surprised Happiness. Yoki then asked if it was true that Raven confessed his feelings to her, and if yes, what did she say that made him so upset? Happiness paused for a moment. She immediately said it was totally impossible. Being rejected like that would hurt anyone. Yoki understood why Raven was so depressed after that. If Happiness did not like him, then nothing could be done. But Happiness said she did like Raven, but before Yoki could ask what she meant, she ran away from there. That night, Yoki called a meeting with his other subordinates to talk about Happiness and Raven's relationship. The other two did not know who Raven was, so Yoki explained that Raven was the swordsman from the hero party. Hearing this, Duke got angry and asked why Yoki was setting up Happiness with a human. Yoki said he did not introduce them, and the truth was, he did not even know how they first met. But that was not the real problem. He told everyone that Raven had recently confessed his feelings to Happiness. Duke thought Happiness would not take this well, because the humans she met before either tried to catch her for her feathers or were free lovers. Anyway, her experience must have been bad. Still, Duke did not think Happiness hated all humans. After all, she chose to become a maid by herself because she liked the people at the mansion, so she must have figured out that Raven was a good guy. The next day, Yoki went to the guild as usual, but he was surprised that Clement was not there. Another receptionist called Yoki over because she recognized him as the guy who always talked to the Vice Guild Master. Yoki did not understand what she was saying at first, but she explained that even if Clement seemed lazy, he was actually the Vice Guild Master here. This was a big shock for Yoki, but at that moment, he was more interested in where Clement had gone. This was treated like a secret, but since Yoki was Clement's friend, the receptionist told him he was in the hospital after a fight with his wife. Later that day, Yoki went to the hospital to see Clement, and he was shocked to see how badly he was hurt. He asked what happened. Clement said yesterday was his anniversary, so he went to get a nice gift for his wife, but he spent so much time looking at jewelry that the whole day went by. And when he got home, dinner time was already over. His wife thought he forgot the anniversary, and then they had a huge fight. Yoki said Clement's wife must be pretty strong to put him in this state. Then Clement said that was to be expected because she used to be an A-rank adventurer. Yoki could not believe Clement's wife was a rank level. But Clement also said, for the record, he himself used to be an A-ranker too. For Clement, it would take a lot of time to heal naturally from these wounds. So Yoki offered to use healing magic on him, but Clement refused right away. For him, being hurt like this was the best excuse for his wife to nurse him until he got better. At that moment, Clement's wife came in, and it was Sophia, which was a big shock for Yoki. He never would have thought Sophia would marry a guy like Clement, but they both seemed happy, just sometimes there was a violent misunderstanding. A little later, when Yoki was about to leave, Sophia thanked him for being there for her husband before she came. Yoki said there was no need to thank him because visiting a hurt friend was normal. Then he asked Sophia if Cecilia was better today. Sophia said Cecilia's fever was gone, so she was feeling much better, but right now she was out for some work, so he would not be able to meet her for a while. Yoki asked Sophia what would be a good gift for Cecilia because he wanted to do something nice for her. Sophia said if the gift was from the heart, Cecilia would like whatever he got her. Yoki thanked her for the advice and left the hospital. But while walking on the street, he started thinking about what it would be like if he and Cecilia ever got married. When he came out of this thought, he realized he was near the night dorm. Then he thought since he was here, he should also see Raven. He opened the door and found Raven lying on the bed, and he looked just as sad as the day Happiness rejected him. Yoki felt bad for him and wanted to help. He asked Raven if he could tell him how he and Happiness first met. Raven said it all started on a normal afternoon. He was busy with his daily patrol when he suddenly saw a girl being bothered by two drunk guys. He immediately took care of the first guy, and when the rest found out who he was, they all ran away. Then his job was done. When Happiness was safe, he started to leave, but she suddenly grabbed his cape and thanked him. Raven told her there was no need to thank him because he was just doing his job, but then he remembered he let a stranger hear his voice, and he started to worry she would laugh at his voice. But instead, Happiness told him his voice was nice. At first, Raven thought maybe she was joking, but Happiness was completely serious because she really liked Raven's voice. She thanked him again for saving her and then ran off to get the rest of her things for the day. But she left a deep impression on his heart. That was why Raven finally got the courage to confess his feelings to her, but it did not go as well as he thought. He thought confessing so soon was a mistake when they barely knew each other, and maybe that made her uncomfortable. But Yoki told him not to give up so quickly because he thought Raven still had a chance with Happiness. For now, Yoki suggested they both go outside so Raven's mood would get better. Yoki took Raven to the same jewelry store he went to last time with Cecilia because he never got to buy that necklace for her. There, Raven saw a beautiful pendant that would look very good on Happiness, but he was not sure if he should buy it because it might seem strange for someone she barely knew to give her a gift. Yoki assured him she would appreciate the thought, and even if nothing happened, she would at least like the design because it would suit her a lot. Then Raven finally decided to buy the pendant, and because he did not want anyone to hear his voice, he talked to the cashier using pen and paper. But when they were leaving the store, they ran into Mana, and she was surprised to see the two of them together in a jewelry store. She asked what they were doing, so Yoki said right away that they were there to buy gifts for the women they loved. Mana already knew Yoki had a crush on Cecilia, so she was not surprised about that, but she did not know Raven also had a crush on someone. She told Raven to tell her, but Raven did not say a single word in front of her, and the reason was Mana herself because one time she made fun of his voice, and since then he became very self-conscious talking in front of her. Mana felt bad and had already apologized, but she knew saying sorry could not change it, so she did not push Raven. Still, even if Raven did not want to talk to her, Mana still wanted to hear all the details about his crush, so she invited Yoki and Raven to lunch. But as soon as she thought they would talk, Yoki and Raven started stuffing their mouths with food so they would not have to say anything. This was a perfect plan, but as soon as Mana said if Yoki talked to her, she could tell him some stories about Cecilia, Yoki dropped his plan right away. Mana asked Yoki how far he had gotten with Cecilia, so Yoki said nothing special because they were not dating yet, and Cecilia had gotten a lot of marriage offers, including one from Yoga. Hearing this made Mana a little angry because she did not understand why Yiga had not gotten her hints yet. He had always been a bit of an airhead, so sometimes he accidentally saw Mana or Cecilia changing or bathing. And he was so popular with women that wherever he went, a big crowd gathered around him. None of this was on purpose from him, but his careless attitude really annoyed Cecilia, and when she was angry, she could be pretty scary. Then Mana asked Raven about his crush, but Yoki stopped her because he did not want Mana to play with Raven. Mana promised she was not trying to make fun of his crush. She said she also had some problems in her own relationship she wanted to talk about. The truth was, she thought Yiga hated her because of something she did. She told Yoki that even though the kingdom's report said they got a complete victory against the demon lord, actually they lost many times, and even to a normal demon general. Every time they lost, for some reason, they ended up in a nearby village and all their wounds were healed. But no matter how many times they went back, that demon beat them every time, and in very humiliating ways. Yoki felt a little guilty because a few times he dragged out their defeat on purpose so he could look at Cecilia longer, but he also thought his goal was not to humiliate them. Mana said after every defeat, The party had to lie to people and hide that they lost, so people would keep believing in the hero party, but they were running out of supplies. If they did not beat that demon soon, people would lose trust in them. Cecilia was saved, but Mana did not think Yiga forgave her for that cruel decision. He still acted friendly and cheerful with her, but Mana could feel his opinion had changed. Cecilia probably did not think of her the same way after that event either, so things between them got a little weird too. Yoki thought he was also part of the problem because his actions caused that crack in their party, but he did not think there was much he could do to fix it. Yoki asked Mana if she at least tried to talk to Cecilia about it, but for Mana, it was not easy to talk about. She could not just say she was ready to sacrifice Cecilia because she cared more about saving Yuga's hero image. Yoki understood this was a very hard subject, but if nothing was done, they would always feel awkward around each other, so he told Mana to think about it. Mana realized Yoki was right, so she decided she would do her best to fix things. At the same time, Raven also decided he would try talking to Happiness again. Then Raven and Yoki went back to Cecilia's house. Raven finally found Happiness and apologized for confessing so suddenly last time. Then, he gave her the pendant he bought and asked if she wanted to start as friends first, and Happiness liked this idea.